people, this is honeymaysims and welcome back to my channel and another speed build. So today I'm actually doing something a little different because I am building with Cece. So as you can see right now, I'm making a small cottage on the 30 by 20 Cordelia secret cottage lot in Henford-on-Bagley. And this is going to have lots of farmland to grow crops, a chicken coop and a greenhouse. So it is definitely a house for a sim with green fingers. And in the greenhouse you can also find more planter boxes, a flower arrangement table and even some bee houses. And in this house you're going to find 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen, a dining room and a living room. And on the first floor I could only fit in 1 bedroom, but I did add a ladder up to a fairly small space on the second floor, like a loft, where there's going to be a bedroom as well if you want to use that. So recently I have been doing more room builds with Cece, and I have found so many great Cece items, packs and kits during many build and buy shopping sprees basically. But this is actually my first time doing an entire house with Cece, even though this is fairly small as well. I always try to not use much Cece in houses in consideration of the console players who unfortunately don't have the opportunity to download it. But I think this was just a fun project for me to kind of explore the possibilities when building with Cece. And there are some people who maybe just have base game or just a few packs, but mainly download Cece to use, which is great because most Cece is for free, but you might have to wait for it like a few weeks before it gets released to everyone. But I think that's still like a really great thing for all of us. So there's a lot of possibilities and lots of styles to explore and everything with Cece, which I personally love. So for my own personal taste, I enjoy Max's Match Cece, so it kind of stands in style with the rest of the game style. But yeah, as always, I'm going to link all the Cece and its creators down in the description, so make sure to check it out, spread some love, and download it if you want to use this house in your game. But what do you think about Cece? If you're playing on a PC, do you use it? Do you have any favorite creators maybe? Let me know in the comments. So back to the build. I actually found a lot of inspiration photos to use for this build, but I eventually ended up going with something like this picture I found, and I personally think cottagecore is such a beautiful and peaceful aesthetic, so I really wanted to give this one a try. So I based the shape of the house off this one, and then I kind of winged the garden and outdoor space. So as you can see, I added the greenhouse plus some activities and also the farm plot and lots of those planters and flowers and everything. Actually, the main reason I went with Cece with this build is actually because of the greenhouse, because I wanted to use those angled windows from the organic pack on the roofing to make it look like an actual greenhouse. So I also like the idea to include the tiny travelers swing in one of the trees outside, as you're going to see eventually. So, you know, just those little cute details that we unfortunately don't have in the actual game yet, hopefully. And for the kitchen, I have fallen in love with the classic kitchen Cece pack by Max 20. I think it just fits so many different styles, and yeah, I just love that one. So I also used it in the kitchen here in a gray swatch with, I think, like a brown red countertop. And I also used some items from the Country Kitchen pack by S Imagination, Oak House by Pierre Sim, and different packs from Harry and Felix Andre, which just fits perfectly with this aesthetic. And especially the organic pack, as I mentioned earlier, is used a lot in this build. And I think that one actually came out around the Sims 4 Cottage Living came out. So it's like perfect. And especially in like Henford-on-Bagley and all of those cottages and farms and everything. I've also recently been doing more gameplay on my own, which I think this house actually fits perfectly for. I love doing generational and family gameplay, so I'm currently playing a save file. I think I started it in 2020, and I'm currently playing as two sisters. So one of them is a gardener and in the gardener career as a florist, and the other one is in the environmental manager branch of the career that came with Island Living. I'm not too sure what that one's called right now, but it's that one. And they're also both farmers, so they grow their own crops. And I have the Simple Living Challenge on my lot as well. And they used to have chickens before I moved them into another house. So they also enjoyed like the flower arrangement activity along with things like knitting and cross stitching. So they're actually making a lot of money selling those products on Plopsy, which is the system that came with Nifty Knitting, kind of like eBay, I would say. And yeah, so if you're in the mood to make a lot of money for your Sims, I would suggest doing that because yeah, they're making bank. So yeah, I have been enjoying doing some gameplay, but as you can see right now, I have started working on the landscaping. So I put up that swing in one of the trees, like the one from Organic, just right by the chicken coop, and in the back here I wanted to have some kind of cozy space, so I put out a table so you could have guests over, maybe have a little barbecue, and yeah, just enjoy each other's company. And I did some of the floor planning on the inside already, so there is going to be kind of like a mudroom entrance, so you can put off your shoes and hang up your coat and clothes and everything. And it's going to lead into the living room, which has a big fireplace, so it's going to be really cozy. And I imagine, especially in the cold winters, and right next to the living room, there's going to be the dining room and leading into the kitchen. And from the kitchen, there's going to be some doors as well. So the backyard is going to be really accessible from there as well, because I think the Sims living here would go back and forth from the backyard a lot. So yeah, I thought it was a nice idea. And it also copies kind of like the idea that was in the picture I showed earlier, because it did have this kind of layout as well. And yeah, I'm just working on the kitchen here. So I did start out using the counters from the Country Kitchen by S Imagination, but I wasn't too sure about like the texture of it. So I did switch it out to the Classic Kitchen by Max 20 instead. And I started out with this white swatch, but I thought it looked too clean for this cottage and the vibe I wanted. So I did switch it out to this kind of dark gray color with those brown wood countertops. And that would kind of set the color scheme for the rest of the house as well. because I thought I wanted more of a darker color on the interior because the exterior has a lot of white, but yeah, I thought it would be a little fun detail like that. But there is going to be some white details on the inside as well, like some of the doors and the windows and everything. So for the dining room, I wanted to do something a little different, so I chose to use some of those couches. And then I used one of the large round tables, I believe is from the Spoons pack from Harry, if I'm not mistaken. And then I used some of those wooden chairs with a kind of blue green swatch on the seat. And for the kitchen, I also wanted to do kind of like a table for the island, so it gives off more of those country kitchen vibes, I would say. And I also recently did that idea in another room where I actually also used the classic kitchen CC by Max 20, and I just fell in love with how that looked, so I wanted to recreate that here as well. So I hope you enjoy how that one turns out. And I also used some of those same couches in the living room, so it's kind of like a customizable couch, which I really love because it gives so many more possibilities to create a variety of couches. And yeah, that function actually came with Dream Home Decorators, so I'm really happy that CC creators have started using that as well to make, yeah, CC couches. Because let's be real, that's probably something we have been waiting for a long time, to make more customizable items like the couch. Right now I'm figuring out the kind of wallpapers I wanted, so I think these wallpapers are from Carly Pancakes. I just love those little patterns on this one that I used in the kitchen, but I also used more of like a neutral one in the other rooms, plus some kind of brick texture where the fireplace is going to be. And then eventually I'm going to work on the bathroom, so that one is going to have tiles. And yeah, I wanted to have lots of details so it feels more lived in when it comes to the kitchen. Also from the Country Kitchen CC pack, there were these little jars with preserved jams, so I thought I just had to include those. And on the dining table, I also used this tray with some tea, like the cups and everything, so you're going to have maybe some breakfast tea or lunch or maybe in the evening. But yeah, I'm basically just finding a lot of decoration to put around the rest of the house now. So I found a lot of paintings, so I either put it up like normally on the wall, or I used a tool mod to kind of rotate it so it looks like it's standing against the wall. And as I also mentioned earlier, I did put a room on the second floor which is functional, so I decided to put an extra bedroom, perhaps for a child, because yeah, I just decorated it like that. But honestly, you can put whatever you want up there. Or maybe you don't want it at all, but that's okay. Then it's just to delete it. Or maybe you want it to be an actual loft with lots of things, like old things that this sim maybe has saved, or yeah, you could make it into whatever you want really, because the possibilities are endless. Maybe even an activity room with, you know, lots of stuff. But either way, we're soon coming up to the screenshots. I'm just doing some final touches on everything. So as always, you can find this build on the gallery. However, if you want to find it and use it, remember to enable CC in the gallery. My ID is Owlrick, but you can also find it under the hashtag honeymaysims. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything in the future. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!